Here because on September 7th, Equifax, one of the three major credit reporting agencies in the United States, announced an unprecedented intrusion into their systems. Hackers gained access to sensitive information for an astounding 143 million Americans, including 4 million right here in New Jersey. We're talking about names, social security numbers, home addresses, and driver's license numbers, private information that we all work hard to keep private. Even worse, 209,000 consumers had their credit card numbers stolen. Another 189,000 people disputing potential inaccuracies on their credit report had their data compromised.
Senator Menendez, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here today and to address this crisis. As you've pointed out, a security failure of this magnitude is truly a disaster. I have to say I'm really sorry to be here again because we were actually speaking together a few years ago when you first proposed the Privacy Bill of Rights, and I'm so sorry that we had to come back again and talk about the same topic. But the fact that this was caused by willful negligence for the sake of profit makes this disaster an egregious assault on our privacy, our financial security, and on our consumer rights.
To add insult to injury, Equifax waited over a month to inform consumers of the breach they knew had taken place. It's unconscionable, especially when you consider that senior executives used that time to sell nearly $2 million worth of the company's stock. Again and again, Equifax has put profits over the privacy interests of consumers. We saw it when they charged consumers in many states a fee to freeze their credit report. And we saw it when they offered a credit monitoring service that required Americans to sign away their right to a day in court because of the consequences they faced of the breach. Only after immense public pressure did Equifax remove these gotcha clauses from the fine print. Americans shouldn't have to live with the anxiety of knowing that their personal information may be used against them, and they shouldn't have to pay up or relinquish their rights to protect themselves from fraud.
Equifax's deceptive behavior clearly exemplifies why the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau must maintain full and independent authority to take enforcement actions. It's outrageous that we continue to see these kinds of abuses in the financial sector and that members of Congress are doing everything they can to eliminate or diminish Dodd-Frank and the important provisions in Dodd-Frank, like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is doing a very good job of going after bad actors and protecting consumers. So I want to thank the Senator for all he's doing, and I hope that we will continue to work together to improve consumer protections and that we won't have to meet again to talk about this same topic. Thank you very much.
Credit reporting agencies like Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion hold tremendous power in our economy. Whether you're applying for a home mortgage or a new job, leasing a car, or even buying a cell phone, companies like Equifax are supposed to be the trusted keepers of your personal financial data. Now thieves have the data they need to max out on credit cards, obtain driver's licenses, and file phony tax returns in your name. These threats have a snowball effect, so think about it. If fraudsters can run up debt in your name, your credit score will suffer. And when your credit score suffers, lenders will deem you a greater risk. And when lenders deem you a greater risk, they're forced to pay higher interest rates. Perhaps it's only $50 in additional interest per month, but over 30 years, $50 is $18,000. That's $18,000 you could have put towards your retirement or your child's college education or that business you hope to start one day. This epic security breach has raised issues that require a legislative response as well. Consider that many Americans in states other than New Jersey have to pay a fee to freeze their credit. That's not right. And even in New Jersey, it costs $5 to lift a security freeze. That's why I've joined Senator Elizabeth Warren to introduce the Freedom from Equifax Exploitation, or the FREE Act, to give Americans more control over their credit reporting information. Our legislation requires credit reporting agencies like Equifax to let you freeze and unfreeze your file at no cost. It also stops them from selling off your personal information once you put a freeze in place. And finally, the FREE Act offers consumers 2 free credit reports a year instead of 1, so that you can more effectively look out for suspicious changes. The scope of the Equifax breach is astounding, but unfortunately these problems aren't new. That's why I'm updating the Commercial Data Privacy Bill of Rights that I introduced in 2013 after a breach at Target that affected 40 million Americans. The Commercial Data Privacy Bill of Rights of 2017 will specifically address data breaches at credit reporting agencies like Equifax. The bill requires the top 3 credit bureaus to quickly inform the public and federal regulators of major data breaches. And in this age of ever-evolving cyber threats, my bill strengthens data security standards for credit reporting companies and requires they offer more help to consumers in the wake of intrusions. Equifax owes it to consumers to make this right, and I am going to do everything as a senior member of the Senate Banking Committee and Finance Committee to make sure they do. That's why I led a letter with 9 of my colleagues calling for hearings in the Senate Banking Committee. That's why I've written the Securities and Exchange Commission and urged that they investigate whether Equifax executives engaged in insider trading when they dumped their stock. And that's why just yesterday I led a letter to the Federal Trade Commission with 17 other senators asking for regulators to review data security at all 3 agencies, because the last thing we need are hackers stealing data from TransUnion and Experian as well. In today's digital economy, every company has a responsibility to proactively address cyber vulnerabilities and to do everything possible to safeguard our data.